Hello, I'm Jeff Myers, and welcome to Elgin Today. On this edition, first we will hear from Jennie Phillips, Elgin's 311 Contact Center Manager, and we will learn a lot about the 311 app. Next, inside the Robert Gilliam Municipal Complex, a new honor and remembrance for the man who served 10 terms as a city council member from 1973 to 2013. Mr. Robert Gilliam passed away in December of 2014. We will hear from his sister, Valerie, about this new wall of memory. It was an open house in January at the Eastside Recreation Center, 1020 East Chicago Street in Elgin, and we will get all the information about it from the ERC program supervisor. Water, water everywhere, and in this case, every drop to drink, as the Mayor David Kaptain segment takes us to the Leo Nelson Riverside Water Treatment Plant with the Mayor's special guest, Water Director Kyla Jacobsen. And Joe Wars, with help from many volunteers, will tell us about a very successful Martin Luther King Celebration Weekend food drive that gathered over 7 tons of food. We'll have these stories and more on this edition of Elgin Today. Our first story this time on Elgin Today will start with 311 and what it means to you, the citizens of Elgin. We will talk first with a lady in the know about 311, its use, and a relatively new feature for 311.
311 is one place for the citizens to reach the City of Elgin for all non-emergency city services. We're going to talk about the 311 app, and we're also going to talk about the different ways in which our residents can reach out to the City of Elgin. You can telephone the City of Elgin 311 from your landline by dialing 311, or our 7-digit dialing number is 847-931-6001. You can also email the City of Elgin at elgin311@cityofelgin.org. But we're going to talk about the app today, which is a great way for our residents to connect with the City of Elgin from their mobile devices and their smart devices. So we're downloading the app. The City of Elgin 311 mobile app is available for iOS, Apple, and Android. Apple App Store and Google Play. The app is available in both English and Spanish. When you open the Elgin app, you will see Elgin Today. Elgin Today has listed 3 or more of the most important things that are happening in Elgin. Updates may include temporary service delays, traffic disruptions, event announcements, and seasonal weather updates. In the What's Happening section of the app, through our consolidated joined Twitter feed, known as Tweets, citizens can see information not only for the City of Elgin, but for a variety of City of Elgin partners. The feed allows the user not only to see what's happening within the City of Elgin, but the City of Elgin as a community. What's Happening pushes more than 60 Twitter feeds from the community into 8 general categories. The 8 general categories provide users with a broad perspective on what's happening in the community. Users can share tweet content through Facebook, Twitter, text, or email without leaving the app. In order to save the contact information can be saved directly in the app to auto-populate in each new 311 request so that no time is wasted when submitting requests to the city. Push notifications are available. Users can receive push notifications when city updates are made to Elgin Today or when their 311 requests have been updated. Notification settings are easily accessed in the push notification option in the main menu. So how do you enter a request? Any user can submit 311 requests or general questions, as well as add service locations and attach pictures to their requests. 311 advocates receive each request during normal business hours and are able to update the status of the request and respond to questions directly from the app.
Now let's find out what happens when a 311 app request is received and what can be expected by you, the citizens of Elgin.
So basically, when the app comes in, during our business hours, Monday through Friday, 7 to 5, I get them, I attend to them, I look over the request, I go over the details, look at the pictures, and then I decide if it's informational, something that I can answer personally, or if it's something that I need to assign to a department, a specific department like traffic division, code, or streets. And so based on that, I will send a response back saying thank you for your app request. I have created a case for the traffic division or that Pacific division, and then I will follow up you at a later time if needed.
And Ashley would go on to tell us how much she enjoys her work and just how really important it is to everyone in the city of Elgin.
It's been exciting, and I'm very excited about the app request. A lot of times when I respond back, I always say have a great day or drive safe, and I just want the constituents to know that we really do care. It's more of an intimate relationship that I have we've established with the constituents.
What do we say in 311 when we get app requests?
Hashtag ready for anything. Yeah, because a lot of things come through and you have to go with the flow. Everything's not black and white, so you got to go with the flow.
You recall the ceremony and the renaming of Elgin City Hall on September 11, 2014 for lifelong resident and 10-term city council member Robert Gilliam. Mr. Gilliam passed away just over 3 months after this ceremony. Now, Robert, loved by all of Elgin, will also be honored with a memory wall inside the Robert Gilliam Municipal Complex. The wall will be officially dedicated later this year with ceremonies, as we spoke with Mr. Gilliam's sister, Valerie Gilliam, about this honor.
It is a beautiful display and a great way to honor my brother with his 40 years of service to the city and to the community. He deserves this award, in my opinion. He worked very hard and diligently for the city. The wall is really beautiful. Over the course of several months, Christine and I and Olga worked on putting all the, having them select the plaques that they would like to use, and they picked which ones reflected his service. Yes, my aunt from Detroit, Velma Rogers, my mom would always send her articles on my brother's different accomplishments all the way through college. She would always send him articles, so she started cutting out the articles and putting them in a book, and she made a book for my brother. He was loved by his family, and he was also loved by the community, by many, many others who really appreciated all the hard work and showed all the confidence and trust in him in working for the city.
Valerie told us of her brother's victory on April 17, 1973, as he was elected to the Elgin City Council for the first of 10 terms, and how exciting it was that night.
I remember that night I was at his house taking care of his kids, and I remember him calling and saying, "I've won, could you straighten up the house a little bit?" And the best thing I remember about that is that my mother was able to see him win his first election, and who knew it was going to be 40 years of serving as a city councilman.
Those were exciting times, weren't they?
Yes, it was. Yeah, I didn't know how exciting because I was so young, but turned out to be a wonderful thing for the last 40 years. The flyers on the wall have to do with Bob's campaign. All of us helped him, his campaign team, his family and friends. We all put up signs, posters, addressed envelopes, put flyers in mailboxes. We were all glad to help him with this campaign.
Robert helped out so many folks. I mean, folks must still come up to you and say, "Gosh, he helped me get a job back in '81 and things like that." Those must be great moments for you.
It is. It even gives me the chills right now. When we were here for the dedication, I don't know how many people came up and said, "He hired me, he helped me get a job," and it wasn't necessarily in the school district. He served as a great reference for people who were trying to get new jobs. He was always available. If you came to him and said, "I'm looking for work," if he knew of something, he went out of his way to try to help you. Bob's wife, Mary Ann, they were married for 29 years, and she is currently in the process of establishing a Robert Gilliam Memorial Scholarship Fund. It'll be nonprofit, and it's for college-bound students. Bob thoroughly believed in education and was always willing to do whatever he could to make that happen, so she's in the process of working on that now.
Elgin Today talked with Mayor David Kaptain, and the mayor told us what he learned from Robert Gilliam.
Jeff, I think that Bob Gilliam taught me how to be a thoughtful council member and look at things from both sides. And now my favorite line is I look at it like a Rubik's Cube. I twist it around because everything has got two sides to it. And sometimes they have 5, 6, 7, and 8. And to do the best job as a city councilman, you have to think of both sides and find out what's the best for the city of Elgin. And I sleep good at night because I do what I feel is best for the community and best for the city of Elgin. And that's what Bob Gilliam taught me.
We also learned of the work behind the scenes that helped make this wall so attractive and a must-see for everyone of Elgin and the surrounding area.
Well, the wall originally was with the building since 1968 when it was built. So it had different built-ins on it, and once we took those off, we noticed that there was some damage on the wall. And since this was going to be a permanent display, we wanted to make sure that it was appropriate for that. So we put panels up that match some of the panels in the rest of the building, and then we talked to Valerie, and over about 3 or 4 months, she brought in boxes and boxes of materials from Mr. Gilliam, and we looked through them and then tried to choose pieces that meant a lot to the city, showed his dedication not only to the actual city of Elgin, but to the greater community, and tried to pick things that represented as different decades in the area.
The next story here on Elgin Today takes us to 1080 East Chicago Street and the City of Elgin's Eastside Recreation Center and their open house, which was held on Saturday, January 9th. We get a chance to talk with a new addition to the staff as she was our guide for the day.
It's been fabulous. We've got all these vendors from the programs that are new here. We've got people coming in to work out for free. It's a great way to start the new year. I've got these fancy new shirts. We're having a wonderful time today.
Well, this place has been refurbished so nicely in recent times.
I know we've been so fortunate. We've got a soccer field, we've got boxing, we have martial arts, we have a fabulous batting tunnel, and the gym downstairs. We've got great equipment. It's really, really great.
You got a lot of great upcoming programs for us, don't you?
We do. In February, we have a Kids' Day off on February 15th. We also have an after-school club going on Monday through Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. Drop-in program, $5 a day. Really easy, fun for parents to just bring their kids when they need some time after school. We've got spring break camp. We've got our summer camp, which is always a huge hit this year. So we've got a lot going on.
Summer camp always fills up quickly, so remind everybody to register early.
Yes, please. Please get in early. We don't want you to lose your spots. It definitely fills up very, very quickly. I am in charge of all the programming, special events. So my job right now is to bring in new programs. We have a Little Learners program that I'm also in charge of. That's every day, 8 to 1:30 for kids 3 to 5. We have our summer camps, and then we have some youth and early childhood programs that we've got going on. Bricks for Kids, Kinder Music, dance, martial arts. We have a lot going on. Martial arts is the American Institute of Martial Arts who provides our martial arts programming.
And if folks haven't been here in a while, it's beautiful.
It is. It's so lovely. I think everyone needs to come out and check us out on this side of town. We've got all kinds of new stuff. We've got all kinds of new programs. We encourage you all to come out and see us.
Remind us of your location and how we get in touch with you.
We are at 1080 East Chicago Street. We're 847-888-1989, and you can follow us on Facebook.
You're relatively new at this job. Tell us about your Elgin background.
I do. I started here in May, but I am an Elgin High graduate, class of 1998, and I also went to Elgin Community College where I played soccer.
Wonderful. So in your high school days, the Howards, the Smallwoods, the Harringtons were great basketball stars.
They were. I was there when all that was going on. I went down to Peoria when they went to state. It was just so much fun.
Time for our segment with Mayor David Kaptain. A busy time we have today, Mayor.
Yeah, Jeff, we're at the Leo Nelson water treatment plant, Riverside Water Treatment Plant with Kyla Jacobsen, our Water Director. We're going to talk about the water plant. We talk about things that are unique and what makes Elgin unique. And Elgin was the first municipality on the Fox River to use the Fox River for its drinking water. Now, I shouldn't say that, to go back to using the Fox River for its drinking water, because back in the history, that's what it was. That's why people settled here. But back in the 80s, there was a very controversial move in this city to go to the Fox River and abandon our deep wells and go to the Fox River as our primary drinking water source. And I remember at that time that the community was really torn, and it was a very controversial decision what to do, and I think it was the right decision, and it's turned out well for us, positioned Elgin to grow with a positive and a very reliable water supply. And Kyla's done a great job here for the last couple of decades now. Yeah. Taking care, yeah, right. We go back together, and I worked at the Water Reclamation District, and she worked at the water facility here. So there's some commonality, and Kyla can talk a little bit about the discussion that was had here in the 1980s when we switched to the Fox River, and what some of the problems and some of the differences were between the well water and the Fox River as a water supply.
A great moment in Elgin history, that decision, my dear.
Absolutely. One of the major problems we had with the aquifers is the quantity of water and knowing that whether we'd have a reliable source of water into the future. So we made the decision to go to the river. We have a plentiful source. We don't have to pay the large electrical expense to pump water straight out of the ground because that's very electrical dependent. There's a lot, I was going to say more treatment that has to be afforded to the drinking water, the Fox River water, but it's not really more, it's just different.
Yeah.
And we were the first ones on the Fox River. As a matter of fact, when this plant was built in 1980, it was only the 6th plant in the whole state of Illinois to use surface water.
That's great.
But that affords us a reliable source well into the future.
And we've had awards for great tasting water.
We actually have. There's a county-wide taste test that happens every year. Wow. We've won that several times.
I want that Fox River water.
And we've also won the state award for best tasting water. I always kind of joke and say it depends on who the judge is, whether they're used to drinking well water or river water, but I'll take it. I'll take a few awards for that. So, and we have had excellent quality and excellent quantity for years. And I've been here, as the mayor referred to, several decades, and been very, closely related to the water quality when I was working in the laboratory as the chemist and now as the water director.
A lot of things to cover.
Yeah, and Jeff, I think one of the things that when we took water out of it, I remember this part back in the 80s when they took the water out of the deep wells, and we quit doing that. The water level in Burlington went up about 150 feet because of the fact that Elgin hadn't taken water anymore. And now it's we talk about recycling, and from my end of things, about 70% of the water that's pumped through this facility gets put back into the Fox River and is recycled. Back in when we were taking out of wells, that didn't happen. When we took it out of the aquifer, you kept taking the aquifer and pumping the aquifer down. So that's a big change. It goes back into use for the fish and for other facilities downstream from us.
That's that evergreen effect we love.
Absolutely, and it keeps making water for downstream. Everybody's got some. But having water in the aquifers, as the mayor referred, as everybody sticks a straw in there to withdraw water, it depletes it for the future, and there's no way to restock that water. Once that water's gone, it's gone.
You're taking us on a video tour a little bit of how things are done. It's great to see how you clean the water.
Yes, absolutely. We'll go through the process, and everybody will get to see that.
All right. Well, we're taking a look as you talk right now. Tell us some of the basic process of it.
The water comes through a screen at the river intake. It screens out large debris and fish, etc. The water comes up into a series of basins where we add a chemical, but we remove a chemical. So we add alum as a coagulant, basically to stick stuff together. Then it moves on to a softening process. We actually soften the water here in Elgin. We soften it to a moderate level. We don't remove all the hardness, but we do remove some of it. Then we have like a polishing step where we clean up any turbidity, the clarity. We want the water to be as clear as possible. Then the water comes inside and is filtered, big, giant, large filters. And then the water moves up into the reservoir out front of the plant where we add chlorine as our primary disinfectant, and then we pump it out into the distribution system.
It's a great modern day concept.
Absolutely, and it's a very sensitive thing for people is the water quality. And I think a couple things to talk about, touch on really quickly. One question that gets asked a lot, Kyla and I heard it, as a matter of fact, at a council meeting last week. What happens in the wintertime when I turn my tap on and my water's cloudy? Why does it look like it's kind of gray? And the other one is what happened in Flint, Michigan, and can that happen here? And what do we do to protect our water supply?
I'll answer both of those questions. The cloudiness, cloudy water is a effect of water temperature. When water, it's a physical property of water. When it's 39 degrees, it is at its most dense, and it's going to trap air. And people will draw water out of the tap and go, wow, it looks like milk. And it does. And I tell people, draw a glass in a clear glass, set it on the counter. The water will actually clear from the bottom up. And it's just releasing the air. It's a physical property I can't control, but there's nothing wrong with it. And to address the Flint, Michigan issue, we were just having that discussion here amongst the staff this morning. It amazes me that this has happened, because there are regulations in place to prevent this. This is a person or people that had made these decisions to violate these regulations. Because when you use a certain water source, you have to determine whether the water is corrosive or not. We have gone through steps to show how we have optimized our corrosion control. And it states right in the rule that if you change water sources, you have to reprove how corrosive or non-corrosive your water is, and therefore you have to do some type of treatment to prevent this from being a problem. And it's something we have to send reports on a monthly basis to the EPA showing that we are meeting those corrosion control treatment practices, and we have to do testing, and I just don't see how it can happen, but I know it does. There have been other problems with water, and it typically comes down to people.
That's why those decisions back in the 80s so sweet for then Elgin's future, and we're still enjoying that today.
Absolutely, and there are things, we still have challenges ahead of us, and there are replacements of old water mains. Some of our water mains are almost 100 years old, and they have to be replaced. My neighborhood now, when we do streets, we have often have water main replacements. We do a complete rebuild, and that's part of our infrastructure, and that's a challenge that the city of Elgin has to face. We have a separate fund, an enterprise fund that we use for water, and we create bonds that using that fund, and we can go out and do the work that we need to do. So that's always ongoing, and we are constantly replacing water mains and constantly doing repairs. So you see these guys out, and you see them at the times when the temperature changes, and often it's times when it's the coldest days that they're out there replacing, fixing leaks, and they do a great job to make sure that we have a water. When you turn the tap on your house, you got water comes out of it.
We're down to about 30 seconds. You had a Super Bowl story.
I was just saying before that we had a commercial shot here for a major power company.
In this plant?
In this water treatment plant. It's going to air on the Super Bowl. None of our staff were part of it. They actually had...
Because you were working.
We were working, yes. They actually brought actors in. But it was filmed here. They spent a whole day filming a commercial, which will air during the Super Bowl.
That's incredible.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we look like.
Well, it's amazing. Congratulations on that.
It'll be fun.
All right. Man, that's great.
And it's, I guess, just shows and kind of highlights Elgin. We're going to have two pieces on the Super Bowl. A Doritos ad and the Elgin Water Treatment Facility will be part of the Super Bowl this year. So
billions and billions of folks will see Elgin in some sort.
Absolutely. So, Jeff, we'll look forward to seeing you next month, and we'll have something, hope we have something exciting to do for our show.
All right. Kyla, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
We'll look for you in the Super Bowl, or kind of your image.
Exactly.
All right, Mayor, thanks a lot. That's going to be it right here from the Leo Nelson Riverside Water Treatment Plant. Thanks for being with us. We are looking at volunteers working hard for the 5th annual Martin Luther King Food Distribution Day. The food drive, a part of the City of Elgin's 31st annual Martin Luther King Celebration Weekend. The food was delivered here to the Church of the Brethren's warehouse to be distributed with help from area churches and volunteers to the Elgin food pantries. Longtime Elgin resident Joe Wars, the man behind this great community event with help from many, tells us the history of Elgin's food drive involved with the MLK weekend.
And every year it's gotten better. Every year it's gotten really better. I think the first year we did, people thought I was crazy when they said, how much food are we going to collect, I said, oh, we should be able to do it 4 times, And I thought they were going to throw about the City Hall, the second floor. I said, Joe Wars, are you crazy? 4 tons of food? That's 8,000 pounds, We did slightly over. Wow. And each year it has grown and grown and grown. And I'm sitting here looking at the figures on the computer right now, and it looks like we're going to have over 7 tons. That was our goal this year. As you just saw, a pickup truck just came. That they weren't here yesterday to bring the food. So I think that pickup truck and some food that's down at City Hall and some food that's at the fire departments is still have to be picked up. It's going to put us well over our 7-ton goal, for which I'm really, really happy.
Fantastic numbers of food distribution to be delivered to the food pantries. And no one loves Elgin more than Joe Wars, who had these final thoughts for us as well.
It goes back to the fact that I just think that Elgin is a great place to live and work and play, So Elgin is easy to do work in Elgin. And I also offer the challenge to anybody else. There are a lot of volunteer spots available in Elgin. If you're looking for something to do, just call City Hall and tell them that you're looking for something to do. They have all kinds of lists of agencies and whatever just looking for volunteers. Get involved, my friends. Get involved, okay?
We're delighted to be here at the Downtown Neighborhood Association, and Paige Rober is with us. Paige, tell me your title for the DNA again.
I'm the event coordinator.
Well, you are the queen of this year because as we look back, one of my favorite events, we've continuously done it on cable TV over the 20 years. It'll be the 20th modern-day downtown 4th of July parade upcoming this year. We're already excited.
We're very excited. We're already planning the event, looking at different themes and searching for volunteers and others who'd like to participate.
How would we contact you if we want to get involved?
You can email me at prober, R-O-E-B-E-R, at downtownelgin.com or call us at 847-488-1456.
Last year was the first year you were involved in the parade. It is so much fun, isn't it?
It is fun. It's a great event.
Oh, it's tremendous. And the great folks we see, everybody comes up and says hello. And it is 10,000 people come downtown, don't they?
Yes, it's 10,000 people strong.
It began, as you know, the neighbors got it together back in 1997 on July 4th, actually 19 calendar years, but 20 now parades ago. And then the DNA took over a couple years later, didn't they?
We did. We took it over about 17 years ago.
Yeah, and it's led to great glory. Everybody knows about that. If we know about anything about Elgin, and it's your wonderful charm that you have, my dear, but also what the parade is all about. So we don't know the theme yet?
We don't know the theme. We have a couple things in the works, but
Can you tease us? You can't tease us with it?
I think I've teased you enough today.
It's a little early. It's a little early for that. We're so delighted at the Downtown Neighborhood Association, City of Elgin involved with that. You have great sponsors as well, don't you?
We
Will in the future, you know that. You always have great sponsors. It's always a fun place to be. So we invite everybody, July 4th, the 20th modern day 4th of July parade should be fun.
It will be great.
And you'll help us out on that broadcast day, won't you?
Yes, gladly.
All right, sounds like a confirmation. Paige Rober, Downtown Neighborhood Association. We're excited about the 4th of July parade. Next, a couple of reminders for you. The first, in this month of February, it's going to be an event at the Center of Elgin and the Heritage Ballroom. A daddy-daughter dance will take place Friday, February 19th and Saturday, February 20th, 6:30 to 9 p.m. The Heritage Ballroom, the Center of Elgin, 100 Symphony Way. Bring your daughter out for a magical evening of Disney's Snow White themed dinner and dancing. The evening will include a buffet-style dinner, dancing, a raffle drawing for an American Girl, and prizes for Dad, too. Registration is available online, but only for one child and Dad. If registering for more than one child, please do so in person at the Center of Elgin's Customer Service Desk. The event is for girls aged 2 to 12 years and costs $35 residents and $40 for non-residents. Another great event takes place at the Heritage Ballroom this time in March as the 24th Annual Image Awards, taking place on Thursday, March 17th. The Image Advisory Commission awards individuals, organizations, and businesses for their hard work and dedication throughout 2015. Again, the event will take place Thursday, March 17th at the Center of Elgin, 100 Symphony Way. Things will get underway at 6 o'clock for the 24th Annual Elgin Image Awards. Now let's take a look at a great basketball player, Larkin 6'6" junior Christian Negron, one of the best juniors in the state. He'll have a great finish to this year and a great senior year as well. Negron has already received college offers from Illinois, DePaul, Virginia Tech, Iowa, Butler, with many other schools interested. He's had a great season so far. We catch him here in some highlights from Friday, January 15th, a game against St. Charles North, when Christian scored the first 11 points of the game for his team and ended up with a career-high 29 points on the night. Christian Negron, a 6'6" junior, and a great force for the Larkin Royals this year. And the Royals have some big games slated for the month of February. On Friday, February 12th, Batavia comes to town to take on Larkin. And on Friday, February 19th, St. Charles East comes to town. And don't forget, you can watch right here the replay of the Elgin Maroons and the Larkin Royals matchup that took place on Friday, January 22. Always great when those two teams get together. Again, that's our look at one of the great stars for the Larkin Royals, a 6'6" junior by the name of Christian Negron. You can learn more about the information you saw here in Elgin Today or about city services, programs, and events by going to the Elgin website at www.cityofelgin.org. And now the City of Elgin has a 311 contact center. Elgin 311. Call, click, connect by calling 311, the city's information and request resource. For everyone here at Elgin Today, I'm Jeff Myers. We'll see you next time.